This is Charlie Mike, the podcast. Veterans helping veterans, talking about things happening in the veteran community, things we've experienced and overcome, such as addictions, PTSD, depression, legal trouble. And we also promote veteran-owned businesses. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Charlie Mike, the podcast. Today, I got my good friend, Brian Talley. He's a United States Marine Corps veteran. He's a motivational speaker, and he's an author. This man does it all. Hey, here he goes. Brian, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, my man?
Yeah, you missed the incredible intro I just did for you right now.
Thanks.
How's everything been?
Good, man. Hanging in there, buddy. How about you?
Man, I'm living it. I wish I had I got nothing but positive things to say about my life, man.
Good. Yeah, I've been seeing you doing well, man. You're doing some good things.
I'm trying to be like you, brother.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing it, man.
Hey, I'm loving it.
I'm a work in progress. Hey, I'm a work in progress too, buddy.
Yes, sir. I said I'm loving that shirt you're wearing right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it from my good friend.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. How's everything been? How's the family?
Good. Everybody's good. All 4 kids good. Thanksgiving was good. Wife's good. Dogs are good. My cat's good. Just been, having a lot of doctor's appointments. The medical malpractice is the gift that keeps on giving. I've had some kidney, renal, ultrasounds this week, and I've got some C-spine and some T-spine and some L-spine MRIs, and got all that stuff going on. That'll always be going, but other than that, I'm good. Just kind of exhausted throughout, sometimes, and but yeah, I mean, I'm doing as good as I can, man.
I see, man. My apologies about the mix up with the lunch date this week, man. We definitely got to reschedule that and make that happen, man.
Yes, sir. Next week,
man. Let me tell you, man. Okay, so you're an author.
Now I am,
man. I am. Oh wait, you can't. There you go. Yes, man. It's when the book came out, I couldn't wait to get my copy, man. So I actually bought it on ebooks also. That way I could read it in advance before I got my copy. So this pretty thing right here, barely open, but I'm missing an autograph in here that I'm gonna need from you.
Done. Yeah, we'll go get it this week at lunch. And
so tell me, how does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. I got the book, just sat down and wrote it. And, one day after the tally bill became law, I was pretty organized throughout the whole entire, 3.5 year process of the legislation process that I went down. So the book kind of almost wrote itself. I went back to Facebook posts and just kind of started to put things together, started to connect the dots. And then from there, had a book. I took some things out of it, added some things. I wanted a very clean, clear, concise read. I wanted it to be a short read, but I wanted it to be an educational read because I want people to read the book. So many folks get books and they don't read them. They just end up on a bookshelf somewhere.
Yeah.
So I wanted to add enough pictures. I wanted to add enough big text. So, a lot of pictures, a lot of big text. Oh, I can read this book in 5 hours. Perfect. But the reason why I did that is because I need the veteran community. I need veterans to read this book because it will end up saving them big time down the road from any, foreseeable issues that they may ever run into at the VA, So it's very educational. It is inspirational, and it will certainly add value to all those who decide to pick up the book and read it.
You definitely made it your life as an open book when writing this book, man. You got in detail to a lot, and the pictures that you added, man, they speak words.
Yeah, I mean, I got very vulnerable. I've made myself vulnerable over the last, 6 years now. And it's tough, going back and looking at some of the pictures and some of the videos I left on nights that I didn't know I was going to make it through the night. And yeah, it was brutal. But perseverance and resilience and just getting 1% better, every single day, and knowing that God's got a plan for me, and just trust the process, even though at times I was done. I had thrown my hat in the ring, and then I'm right back there a couple hours later saying, nope, I can't do that. So, it's just stayed in the fight. I got 4 beautiful kids. I got a beautiful wife. And those were all motivating factors to, me getting 1% better and beginning to get back to who I was as a person, and to also fight for what I ultimately did, when I closed this loophole to protect all veterans.
Man, I tell people, man, it's an honor to call you my friend. I'm actually your story is absolutely incredible, amazing, and inspirational, man. The fact that you didn't give up, you kept fighting the fight, speaks volumes of your character. And so, man, tell me a little bit about how I know you've been doing some. Would you call it motivational speaking, or what does that fall under?
Sure. Yeah. So it would be, just sharing my testimony. I just had the opportunity over the last couple months to start sharing my story, and the book, the book has given me an opportunity and a platform to do that. So I go into a church, I go into a place of business, where they have employees, whatever it may be, a Rotary meeting, a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and they give me the floor for 45 minutes to an hour, and I kind of tell them my story through a PowerPoint presentation that I've built and kind of orchestrated, and tell my story. And then when I'm done, I set up a table and I sell some books, and that's been going great. I mean, every time I speak, I sell, if there's 50 people in the crowd, I'll sell 25 books. So that's, a pretty good, margin there. And I just bought, I think, 500 books when my book came out about 3 months ago. So, I've sold several hundred books, but definitely want to get it out to the masses. We haven't pushed it very hard, just, locally here in the Houston area. And I was just in Colorado Springs, and, we pushed it pretty good there. And I've been on a couple of radio shows, one in Virginia that was pretty big, and then one in Colorado in Denver that was pretty big. But, other than that, just doing a couple podcasts here and there, and just trying to get the word out on my Facebook page, to get folks to buy the book, maybe for Christmas, great Christmas ideas. But like I said, really at the end of the day, what the speaking is about is adding value to the folks that are looking for it and that need it. I mean, anytime that anybody can sit down and hear me speak and share my story and my testimony, every single person will leave that room taking one positive thing away from what they sat through, and I can guarantee that.
Man, it's just um I'm I'm kind of speechless because of so what are ways, if people were thinking about the idea of purchasing your book, what are ways they can do that?
So it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble. The book is sold anywhere books are sold online. So all they really got to do is just Google Brian Talley book, and it should pop up. The book looks like this for folks that may be looking for it. I didn't choose this job; it chose me.
That title, man.
And that means everything. I didn't like the job I had, but somebody had to do it, and And, I turned it into my life goal, and my life mission, to essentially change the loophole that ruined my life, almost ruined my life, because I've been turning my life around, very dramatically, since they tried to take it from me. But for years and years and years, my family and I lived through hell, battling hardship and losing things like your business and your livelihood and your family car, and racking up credit card debt, and going from living the American dream to just complete financial ruin and depression and anxiety. I mean, it's ridiculous what happened to me. It should have never have happened.
Right.
But it did, and I've accepted that, and I don't have any anger or any resentment toward that, because I've accepted it. And when I fought with honor and with courage and with commitment to fix this systemic problem, I knew that I couldn't let this affect me for the rest of my life. So I, again, had to put it all in God's hands, accept it all, fight with courage and with honor and with integrity. And like I said, let the rest, it's all in God's hands from there.
Yeah. If people wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way they could do that?
They can email me, thetallybill@gmail.com. I get dozens of emails a day from veterans all across the country. I have become a guy that folks can email. Folks they see my story, they see kind of like a little bit of my background, what I've been through, and they see that I've shared my vulnerability and my openness, out there in the public eye and the public view. And they say, you know what, this sounds like a guy that I could totally trust. And so a lot of folks, they reach out and they say, this is what I've got going on. And a lot of the stories I hear are bad, they're horrible. And then I read it and then I respond. I try to respond to everybody that reaches out to me. And sometimes it takes me a little while, because I get a lot of messages from all over the country. It could be wives, it could be husbands, it could be moms, dads, it could be widows, from somebody, their son or their daughter or whatever, may have just took their own life, because they weren't getting the help they were, that they needed. But there's so many folks out there who need help that don't know how to find the help. I didn't know where to find help when I was completely in the middle of my storm. And a lot of the reason why I couldn't find the help I needed, I was completely incapacitated for a very long time. There's so many pills and drugs and pain, and living in a room and in a chair. And my wife didn't know how to maneuver this veteran type, directory to try to find help out there. So a lot of the stuff I was all just through self teachings and trying to figure it out as you go. But as people will read in the book, I spent several years in Congress trying to right a wrong that has destroyed the veteran community for generations. And, when I was there, I ended up learning how to maneuver this system and learning how to speak their language in a way that makes sense to them, in a way that they understand. What I've seen throughout my years of experience is that there's a lot of veterans out there that need help, but they don't know how to communicate what they need to the VA or to who may be needing the help. Because let's face it, the veteran community is an at-risk population. And, veterans were trained killers. I mean, that was our job, and so when veterans get kind of backed into a corner, a lot of them like to swing. And, but once you're out and once you try to You get into this bureaucratic process and they're not treated right. The first thing they want to do is lose their bearing, and they let the world know that they're pissed off because they're not getting this, that, and the other. And that's how I was when I first started. I was a very angry man. But then I said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. They're going to turn me off. They're going to turn me off if they see any aggression, any anger, anything from me. And that's not my character anyways. So what I did was this: hey, look, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kill you with kindness, and I'm going to talk in third person. I'm going to talk in third person, this veteran, this veteran, this veteran, and talk about the one, how bad the bureaucracy is, and two, how long it's plagued the veteran community, and how long this systemic problem has gone unaddressed. So that's exactly what I did, and I was able to have a seat at the table. And once I had my seat at the table, and I had an effective line of communication open with members of Congress, I never lost my seat at that table. I kept that seat at the table to ensure that my mission would be successful, and that we would essentially close a 74-year VA legal loophole that has destroyed the lives of veterans and their families for generations. And that's exactly what I did. It was hard. It was tough. It sucked. I didn't like it. And I didn't choose this job. Like I said, I didn't choose this job. It chose me. And I don't know why I was chosen for it, but I got it done. And, now I'm a walking testament of not only the medical malpractice garbage that we went through, but the legal malpractice that we went through. And now for the rest of my life, going through a lot of medical, and physical and mental changes in my body, and, with my blood, and all three levels of my spine, and my bladder, and my kidney. And, it just goes on and on and on and on. But I've accepted it. And I know I have a new role in this life now. I'm still a great father. I still got my wife, still got my family, and all that stuff's great. But I went from being a custom landscape contractor, and an entrepreneur, to being a voice for veterans now, and just being an advocate. And the one thing I really love to do is tell my story. It's definitely helped me. Yeah, it's very therapeutic. And I just started telling my story. And like I said, I just got this book out. So what I'm hoping and praying for this next year is just opportunity to speak, tell my story, inspire others, educate others, give them that knowledge that they need to have their own effective line of communication. And who knows, maybe even inspire some other veterans to write their own legislation, to get involved, to get off the sidelines and get in the game, and make some positive changes.
Man, like I said, it's just amazing to know you and hear your story. After I read your book, man, I felt like me and you had I felt like I had known you for years, to be honest with you. I felt like it was so in depth into your life and your story of everything that's happened to you, man. It's just when I speak of you, it's an honor to say, hey, that's my friend. Because I appreciate what you've done for our veteran brothers and sisters. And man, a lot of times an advocate for the veteran community isn't picked. It's just given to you, and you got that well speaking manner. When you talk, man, people listen. And I was listening to you talk just right now, and I completely forgot we were doing a podcast. I was just listening. It's just an honor to call you my friend, brother.
Hey, man, the feeling is mutual. When we first connected, I don't know, it was about a year ago. I feel like I've known you forever. You've been very welcoming, and now we're neighbors. I moved here from Southern California to the Houston area where you live. It's part of my story. Yeah, there you go. Just a kid from Texas. It's part of my story. Get out of California. We couldn't afford it anymore. We almost lost our home there. That's the only thing that we saved. And it wasn't, if it wasn't for that, we would have lost it all.
You need to be there anyway, man.
Yeah. So, that gave us what we needed to come to Texas to start over, get a property that, a home here that was, a quarter of the price. And then start to put the pieces back together. That's what we've been doing. I had a 5-year horrifying storm, and for the last year, it's been, we're kind of like out of the storm now. And so now it's just, just going through the motions and doing all my doctor's appointments and trying to live life to my fullest, because, I lost 5 years of my life. I mean, I lost years of my life. And now I'm just trying to live again, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to live again and enjoy it, and, have, great times with my family, and go on walks and literally smell the flowers. I mean, and look around and be grounded in the moment. And that stuff is something that I've never really done before, but I do it now because I think that's important. So,
Brian, there's another Brian who's talking right now. Is Gibson. He runs a 501c3 Project Die Hard. You guys need to link up. I think y'all could actually help each other. He's
how's it going, Brian?
He's a good dude, man. He's passionate about the mission, and you ought to check him out. Hey, just so you know, man, our podcast that we did with you is still the highest podcast that I've put out so far, and that's thousands of people, bro. So really? Thank you.
Oh, wow. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
Just YouTube alone, you hit like 2,700 and something. And that's just on YouTube views, on podcast views. It was insane.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat. I'm glad folks are, hearing the story, and, like I said, just trying to get some knowledge. This story it has a lot of valuable knowledge, in the book, and how to know, so ultimately the mission here was not to stop medical malpractice. You're never going to stop that, because people, are human. We all make mistakes. But once the mistake has occurred, that's where the veterans need their protections and their rights preserved.
Right.
And that's all our legislation does. The tally bill, that's all that does, is that once you fall victim to medical malpractice, you have a clear path of legal recourse, and you have the rights and, the protections that you need to not lose it all, and to hold the VA accountable for their actions, for when they screw up. And the VA is not all bad. I mean, I've been, I go to the VA still. I
still think the VA is one of the best, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was there today, I was there a couple of days ago. I'll be there again next week. I mean, like I said, I've got to go quite a lot. And I typically get good care, but in 2016, I fell through the cracks. And I fell through the cracks in a way that changed my life, but it happens to a lot of veterans. And so when it does happen, again, there needs to be that clear path of legal recourse, and the right to due process for veterans, especially when they've been put on their knees due to no fault of their own. So that's, why I'm very passionate about this, because what they did to me was completely fraudulent and criminal. Should have never happened, like I said, but it did. So we fixed it. So folks like you and everybody else that's living right now, that uses the VA, will never have that legal loophole used against them. So
tell me again how people can reach out and buy your book.
So the book is available on Amazon. It's available on I mean, pretty much anywhere books are sold online. If you Google Brian Talley book, Tally, and there's the title right there. I didn't choose this job; it chose me. And then just kind of find that picture. It pops up on Amazon, and it also pops up on Barnes and Noble, and they can get them right there. You know, great Christmas present.
I'm gonna do this for you. Just the first 3 people to tag you on Facebook right now, I'll buy their books. Let's do that, and then let's see how fast it happens. All about sales, man. Got to push the story, push the mission, push the what you've done and what you continue to do. I just want you to know that it's an honor. It's an honor. Would you have any closing statements that you'd like to put out, man?
No, I mean, just I know the holidays are tough on a lot of people, and I just hope and pray that folks out there, if they're going through some hard times, that they can reach out to people, if they need help. I see you got the veteran crisis line there on the bottom of your screen. I think that's a good place to start. That I see every day. I belong to a lot of veteran groups. We're still losing far too many veterans in this country every single day. We just lost another one today, that I knew from a drug overdose because of just not feeling good, right? And so found him in a hotel, and that's where a lot of folks go. They kind of run away. They end up in a hotel, and boom, they end up doing some bad stuff with their bodies, and that's their, and you've got, some addictions that you've broke too, but it's a very serious systemic problem we got going on in the veteran community right now is, this suicide problem, the drugs and alcohol, and, and a lot of hopelessness and helplessness, especially what's gone on in Afghanistan over these last few months. There's a lot of, veterans out there that are unhappy. So it's our job to police each other. And that's why I've always had my email is completely open, for folks to, to reach out, or on my Facebook page, The Tally Bill, or on Instagram, The Tally Bill. So people can always find me, and if they ever need to talk to anybody, or if they ever have any questions about their VA claims, or, any just advice, I'm typically always there for them and make myself available.
Yeah. Hey, William is another guy that you could link up with. He's with Impact a Hero. Yes, and which is also a great organization. I'm gonna make sure you link up with these individuals. With that, Brian, man, thank you for being on the show. I'm gonna talk offline. Don't hang up. Hey, with that, everyone, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, Charlie Mike.